Hey guys, welcome to Monday Move where we enhance your asana. Today we are going to play around with Koundinyasa 2. So that's a arm balance, a pretty challenging arm balance, but again, with any pose in yoga, know that there's always modifications and variations to make it accessible for any level of practitioner. So let's get on our mats and get ready to have some fun. All right, so there's definitely some prepping that needs to happen for this pose. It is, again, another you need some nice openness in the hips. So some prepping that I would recommend would be maybe just some simple forwards and backwards in from a lunge to, hamstring stretch, right? Because we'll need a nice openness through the groin, but we're also going to be one leg, it's going to be, our legs are going to be straight too. So we need some nice openness. We need some forward folding to happen as well. So maybe come back and forwards for a little bit and switch sides because this is a unilateral or asymmetrical pose. We've got to balance out the sides here. So just forwards and backwards. If you are somebody that's a little bit more accessible to the splits, you can slide your front foot forward and, get a little bit more depth into the groin. Doing the splits themselves is a great prep as well. So we got that here. Also, some great prep poses. This pose is very similar to the standing pose triangle. So I would say make it more of a wide-footed triangle, really focusing on keeping the hips open towards the long length of the mat, and just really focusing on getting a nice stretch through the front leg. Okay, so coming in, doing triangle on both sides is a great prep pose. Come on up, flip your feet. Again, the wider the stance, the better it will be for this particular prep. So just get a nice stretch to that inner thigh there. Just a nice stretch, side body, side body length, leg length, and then come up. You're working to kind of incorporate all this into a well-rounded class. A nice balance pose would be not supta, but hasta, uttita hasta, padangustasana. So coming into this pose, and this will help the back body length or back of the leg length. Takes a moment to get there. There we go. Really working on keeping the groin open. Working on straightening this leg. The leg does not have to be straight though. All right. And let's do both sides on that, since again, it's an asymmetrical pose. And so coming into this arm balance, the front leg in pictures is straight, but it doesn't have to be straight. Again, there's always variations and modifications for any pose in yoga. So now that we've kind of prepped the body, let's slowly work ourselves into the pose. I like to come into it from a down dog position. So just to kind of show you what this pose is, so I'm going to kind of come forward almost into plank pose and get my knee and then kind of step to the outside of my hand, all right? So even lizard pose is a great prep pose. I'm going to walk my hands back slightly just so I can get my upper arms or my shelf a little bit more underneath me. So I'm going to work to lower myself down into chaturanga. And as I do that, I'm going to just begin to lift my right foot, kind of become a teeter-totter. And maybe this is as far as you go. The foot's lifting, the knees bent, and then you just come back up. and the back foot stays on the ground. All right, maybe do that on the second side. So step the left foot out, outside the left hand. Walk the hands back a little bit, kind of get some buoyancy in through the hips. And then make your shelf. Start to bring your weight down on top of your upper arms. And again, maybe you just lift the left foot. Focus on keeping your gaze forward and your right toes stay on the ground. And then you can press back. So let's move a little bit further. Right foot to the outside of the right hand. Finding your shelf. And now this time, maybe the front knee stays bent, but you work to lift the left foot. Okay? So yes, it's a balance pose. It's an arm balance. It's obviously a lot of core work, but it's about finding that teeter-totter. You know, you do need the core strength to get that back leg to come up, but you have to understand the weight distribution as well. As your back leg comes up, your top half has to come down. So it's not just a strengthening pose, it's understanding where that fulcrum is on the teeter-totter and knowing the angles that need to happen to get the pose to balance out. All right, let's do the left side. I'm going to turn around because I have some stuff in the way here. So again, we're going to take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. I'm going to adjust my hand so it's easier to get my shelf underneath me. And then I'm going to start to lower myself into chaturanga. Get my thigh kind of connected to my left arm. Reach my chest forward. So today my left side does not want to get the back leg lifted. That's very common with me. I had a hip injury on my left side, so whenever I try to do stuff a little bit more challenging on my left side, it just doesn't, there's good days and bad days. Like any pose and like any body. So one side may be a little bit easier to do than the other side. And the best thing to do with that is just accept it. Know that there's a weakness on that side, and maybe you focus that a little bit more if you're really trying to have a symmetrical body, which nobody will ever have a symmetrical body. But just having that ability for acceptance of sides are going to be different. So let's go through that one more time on the right side so you can see it one more time. Coming into down dog. Stepping the right foot forward, finding your shelf, bringing your chest forward, maybe straightening your leg, and lifting your back leg. And coming back. All right, so like I said, it's a challenging arm balance, but what's life without a challenge? Have fun with it. Play around with some of the modifications. Maybe you're just still working on getting the groins open, getting strength to come down into chaturanga. Maybe you're just working on, doing chaturanga push-ups to gain the arm strength. Or just stepping to and from lizard pose, getting those hips open and all that stuff. So play around with it. Maybe video yourself doing it, shoot it over to me, and let me see how things are going. And if I have any feedback, I'd be more than welcome to send that over to you. So have fun, enjoy, and I will see you next week. Namaste.